Hey guys, Sally and welcome to Cape Rides. Thanks for tuning in. We just hit a major milestone of 4,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't yet, please do hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, comments, leave it in the comments below. So today we'll be talking about Toyota hatchbacks. So the plan was initially to do all four hatchbacks in one episode. You're looking at the Conquest and Tazz, the Yaris, the Auris, as well as the Runx. But the Tazz Conquest proved to be such an important car. I mean, it was my first car and we actually had to give the car an episode of its own. Anyway, moving along to the Yaris. Now the Yaris was designed to replace the Tazz in a way, because at the time of the Yaris launch, the Tazz was reaching 20 years old and it was tired, outdated, yet still awesome and immortal. Now the Yaris came in a 3-door hatchback, a 5-door hatchback, as well as a 4-door sedan. Engine capacity wise, in the Tazz you had 1.3, 1.6, and in the older ones you had the 1.6 twin cam RSI as well as the 180 RSI. No such luck here. You just had a frugal light 1 liter as well as a 1.3 liter. There was, however, a Yaris Sport, but it's difficult to get hold of those cars. I mean, it was a 2-door hatchback. From what I remember, I normally only seen them in red. They had this different sort of body kit, bigger rims, and awesome. Actually, the nicest thing about the car for me is the taillights. It could be a number of factors. I don't know myself whether it was overpriced when it was launched, whether it was limited numbers, or the fact that it didn't differentiate much from rivals, maybe like the Corsa OPC, other cars in that sort of range. Moving along to the middle child of the Toyota hatchback family, mid-2006 you had the Toyota Auris. Now the Auris had a number of firsts. It was the first diesel hatchback of Toyota, it was the first hybrid as well, and it was the first of the TRD units. The normal engine was a 1.4 as well as a 1.6. I drove the 1.6 and nothing fancy about it. This nice comfortable car, like a nippy. The only thing that I would say that for me wasn't that good of the car was the fact that the gears is a bit further up in the handbrake. So the handbrake and the gears sort of shifted further up. It's a bit weird, I know, compared to some of the other cars. So the Auris TRD is one of the first TRD units here in South Africa, and on top of that is also, it was the first supercharged Toyota here in South Africa. So quite a number of firsts for the Auris range. The Auris TRD was powered by a 1.6 liter engine, which normally pushed out 97 kilowatts, but they added a supercharger that pushed out 133 kilowatts. So it was actually a limited number run. We had 200 units, and there was a couple of subtle changes. I mean, the suspension was lowered a bit, it had a body kit, and interestingly enough, according to Wheels 24, each of these 200 cars were tested before being sold. So they weren't actually like out of the box sold as a sports unit. It's basically they took the car, they made it into the sports unit, and boom, there you go. But we have to test it first, then you can have it. Auris is not that much of a car you'll see on the roads. I do follow Auris 021, which is a page on Instagram that shows you basically how the normal Auris looks, or not how the normal Auris looks, but how good it can look. So I'll just show you some of that. And yeah, the Auris, I've driven the 1.6, nice car. Now moving along, last but not least, we're looking at the big brother of the lot, the Runx. Now the Runx came out in 2003 here in South Africa. Now this was sort of designed to coincide with the Corolla of the time, the boxy Corolla, and it sort of shared a lot of elements. But one thing that differentiated the Runx from the Corolla was the fact that the Runx had a sports version that was called the Runx RSI. Now before we get to the RSI, it's interesting to note that the Runx actually came out in only 3 engines. It had a 1400, 1600 as well as 1800. Now all of these engines had, for the first time also in Toyota history, 16 valve power. So all of them were quite nippy. And it's also another interesting fact is that they came out in 7 different trims. I mean, yeah, I'm going to list them all over here, you can see. And some of them had electric windows, leather seats, all that sort of things, but we won't get into all of that. Now moving on to the favorite of the bunch of the Runx family, which is of course the RSI. Now the Runx RSI was powered by a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated engine, which revved all the way up to 7,800 RPM, and that was quite a screamer. The mad thing about it is that it pushed out 141 kilowatts. I mean, at the time you were looking at competitors would be the rival would be the Golf 5 GTI. Now the GTI was powered by a 2-liter FSI turbo engine, and it pushed out about the same amount of power. It's actually amazing. I mean, like how powerful the Runx in stock trim is. What an amazing car it is. So the Runx did actually get a facelift in 2006, and the look, you can see it's minor. It's basically just the front lights that was changed, and it makes it look quite a bit, you know, more aerodynamical if you want. So personally, I've driven the Runx 1.6 Sport, which I'll put a link in the video below for that review. I've driven in the RSI, so yeah, the Runx is all around an amazing car. It's perfect for family sort of hatchback, and in terms of practicality and reliability, obviously Toyota, you can't go wrong with that. Now there was a Runx TRD, which was sort of like up of the RSI, which featured adjusted suspension as well as limited edition rims and a nice blue color scheme. That's it for basically Toyota hatchbacks. If you've got any questions, comments, please let me know.